What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another top 10 video where I'm going to be counting down the top 10 hardest weapons to achieve or obtain in Dynasty Warriors 3. So this is a video I've been wanting to make for a long time. It took me quite some time to get all the weapons unlocked and it was quite the journey. And these 10, or at least 12 because we got a couple honorable mentions, are the hardest ones that I had to track down and pick up. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the first two honorable mentions and then we're going to jump into the top 10. First one I want to mention here is Mr. Zhang Liao. So Zhang Liao was an interesting one. His moveset was a lot slower than I thought it was going to be, so that came in to be quite a bit of a problem. And for Zhang Liao's fourth weapon requirement, it's actually pretty easy. All you have to do is defeat NPC Zhou Tai and you get his weapon. The hard part came in was finishing the stage, and the first time I went through, it was not very fun. Gan Ning was whooping my booty. Of course, for Dynasty Warriors 3, you've got the infamous archers that are constantly pinning you down. Apparently with Hefei, I don't know why, I don't remember why it does it, but after a certain amount of time, or maybe the way they surround the camp, Sun Quan would actually force Cao Cao to retreat, and during my first run through, I ended up losing because of that, which means I had to start all the way over again. Moving into my other honorable mention, who's going to be Mr. Liu Bei, and this is from an old stream footage that I have from when I got his weapon. Doing it on Yi-Ling seemed to be the main problem. I died once going against Lu Xun because that man on Dynasty Warriors 3 is on another freaking level. Yi-Ling is just a very difficult map in itself, and getting the fourth weapon for him was going to be a challenge no matter what. So he made my honorable mention list because he wasn't actually that bad. As long as I played it smart, I seemed to get the weapon with relative ease. Anyway, we're going to jump into my picks for the top 10 hardest weapons that I had to get for Dynasty Warriors 3. If you guys are looking to play through some of the old games and you're looking for the weapons that you want to maybe save for last, these are the 10 that I would say to take your time with. Now, coming in at number 10, this might be a little biased because I did not have this character's third weapon. Number 10 for me, I've got Mr. Yuan Shao.
The Yuan family shall rule this era.
Now for Yuan Shao, similarly to what I said about Zhang Liao, his requirements are pretty easy. All I had to do was really keep Wen Chou alive for 10 minutes, and the way to do that is to just keep Guan Yu away from Wen Chou. It was actually pretty easy to do. The hard part was almost dying to Guan Yu. That definitely caused a bit of an issue, and then after I got through the weapon and I picked it up, I went to go fight Xiahou Dun right after it, and he ended up posing a bit of a problem to the point where he actually ended up killing me. The time with Yuan Shao was a little annoying just because of the weapon power. For the most part, it was not too bad, and by the time I got to Cao Cao's base camp, I had help with me and I killed him and it went through pretty smoothly. But I had him on here at number 10 because of the frustration I had fighting both Guan Yu and Xiahou Dun. So yeah, for me, Yuan Shao might be an unusual pick for most of you, but I think he was tough to get. He was tough to get for me. Next up, coming in at number 9, we have the man who wields the fourth weapon known as Blink, and I guess it's named properly because for the requirements, if you don't defeat a couple of characters within 5 minutes, you do not get this weapon, and that's going to be Mr. Cheng Wei.
I shall defeat all before me. To battle!
Cheng Wei is number 9 for me because the original guide that I was following was kind of vague. So I did not know that I had to do it within 5 minutes. So when I did it the first time, obviously I, struggled to get through killing both of these characters. I think I actually did pretty okay with Zenji. Cao Zhen was much harder because he was by himself. I was by myself. I just had my bodyguards. It was not a fun time. For the cherry on top of this weapon, the supply captain for Cheng Wei's weapon kind of appears where Sima Yi is, and you have to stop him before he goes across the map to the other side. And the map's not very big, so you're kind of in this area with archers and a bunch of other NPC generals, and it's just not a fun time to be in. Took a little bit of time to get there, but this one caused a little bit of stir for me, so that's why it's here at number 9. Alright, next up, coming in at number 8, I don't have much written down for this. The only thing I have for this is terrible alone without allies, which I could probably understand. Coming at number 8 for me, we've got the man that wields the weapon known as the King of Beasts, and that's going to be wielded by the King of Nanman himself, Mr. Meng Huo.
I will cleave for your soul.
Meng Huo was a tough character. My god, he's got one of the worst movesets in this game. His Musou saves him. Musou is amazing. Like, him having the red bar Musou spam Meng Huo is an absolute beauty because Everything else is just so bad. I don't think I died or anything that was too crazy, but because it was the non-mon, because it was Meng Huo that I was trying to get it with, it was a tough one. Luckily, it was an hour-and-a-half time limit. I could take my time-ish with it, and eventually I got through everything and got to Zhuge Liang at some point. I mean, there's a lot of saving involved in order to get to this point. There might have been a few fails. I have to look back through the footage, but Meng Huo's kit does not help getting his weapon because it's just not. I mean, his Musou is the only good thing about the kit, really. Alright, next up coming in at number 7. This character is wielding the legendary 4th weapon known as Falcon. Nice and easy for him, alright? So, coming in at number 7, one of the hardest weapons to get in Dynasty Warriors 3, just like we said earlier, Lu Xun.
I've heard about you. This should be fun.
In terms of fighting, I had a little bit of issues. Like, it really wasn't that bad. I breezed through Wei Yan, I breezed through some of the earlier generals. I was doing fine. The misleading part about Lu Xun's requirement was that most of the guides said, oh, if you defeat Wei Yan, Lu Meng will be good. So I did that on the first run. That was a lie. Because Lu Meng had died while I was trying to go through the formation and figure out something. I think I had to defeat Zhuge Liang, right? Defeating Zhuge Liang is another part of it. So by the time I defeated Zhuge Liang on my first try, Lu Meng was already dead. And Gan Ning was already gone. There's no way I was going to save him, but he was gone. So I had to restart all the way from the beginning and handhold Mr. Lu Meng through this stage. I think it was just me and him by the time we got to Liu Bei's main camp. And I was so nervous about leaving him alone, but I had to go through the Stone Sentinel formation in order to get the weapon. But the fighting itself for Yiling with Lu Xun wasn't that bad. His kit's not bad for this game, so I didn't have too much of a problem with him. It was just the semantics of trying to figure out, okay, so I can't leave Lu Meng by himself. I have to handhold him through the thing. And then with Zhu Ran and the fire attack, he just did not want to do it. I don't know what was going on. I cleared everybody out. Zhang Bao, I killed him. He did not want to go. He went to the other side, actually, at one point. I was like, okay, we're doing this the hard way. So, Lu Xun was definitely tough for me. He's going to be at number 7 for me. All right, coming in at number 6, right before we hit the top 5. So I rated all of the weapon, like how hard it was to obtain, like the weapons. And this one I gave an 8 out of 10. And we're only on number 6. This character is going to wield the 4th weapon known as the Qiden Fang. Hopefully I said that right. And that's going to be Mr. Xiahou Dun.
I shall put an end to this.
So I got his weapon on stream a while back. You can see the struggle of, because you don't have an army. I've had some very bad times on the escape map for Dynasty Warriors 3. The reason is because those archers, man, they get on you. You're by yourself. If your bodyguards die, it's just you. It ain't nobody else, it's just you. Luckily, Xiahou Dun has a really good kit, so it makes it a little bit easier. But it was so tough. I had to restart from the beginning a few times. From what I saw from the stream, it looked like a pain in the ass to get. And that's why Xiahou Dun for me is right here on the list, right before the top 5. Now, coming in at number 5, this character, my god, their kit is terrible. Nothing good. I'm sorry. There's nothing good about this person's kit. I'm sorry. It's just nothing good. Coming in at number 5, starting off our top 5, this character gets the 4th weapon known as the Magma Wheel. It is not worth it. I mean, the weapon itself might be fine, but in terms of just the pain of going through with this character, Miss Zhu Rong.
Some moves you got there.
My god. I cannot stand her. She has the worst kit in the game. None of her C's are good. Her Musou's not even good. She has no AoE. First of all, we're on Nanman. Nanman's tough to get anything on because of how difficult it is. Terrible kit, alright? Her Musou is so bad. She has crowd control aspects, but they're not that great. She's extremely vulnerable after she Musou. So she's got this like little pause. She gets ripped up. C attacks aren't good. There's nothing good enough to engage a crowd. She doesn't have any like big AoE sweeps. And like when it comes to a general like dueling aspect, like fighting a general 1-on-1, she's fine. But again, her Musou is used for more, at least for me. I used it more as a counter than for anything else. Terrible, terrible kit. I gave her a 9 out of 10 on how difficult it was to get her weapon. She was just so hard to play with. Fighting Zhuge Liang was so tough. I had to like pick my spots and wait for the right moment. My goodness, she was not fun. She was not fun at all. Next up, coming in at number 4. I don't have a lot written down for this, but boy, I can speak about it. I gave this one a 9.5 out of 10. That's how difficult. 9.5. This character wields a weapon known as the Master Wolf, which is ironic because he comes from a family of tigers. Anyway, coming in at number 4, we've got Mr. Sun Quan.
I shall show you that I can fight like my father and brother.
So I don't have a lot. The only thing I have written down, I said he's a 9.5 out of 10 because it's Huffei Castle. Absolutely horrendous. That is my whole sentence for this character's notes. Because Huffei Castle, my goodness, I think I had to restart twice because the first time I kind of played it casually, lost all my people, everyone died. It was just me. Restarted. The second one, I was trying to keep people alive once again. His kit is, I mean, it's okay. I remember being super frustrated with Sun Chuan on Huffei Castle, and then towards the end, at least his Muso's decent enough to counter and to kill, and that's what led me to finally getting the victory. But my god, he was tough to get through. Absolute not a fun time. If you wanna challenge, get Sun Chuan's weapon on Dynasty Warriors 3. My god. Now coming in at number 3, the top 3, okay? They're not tied. They are not tied. But they are all 10 out of 10 difficult. I was on the verge of insanity. This character wields a 4th weapon known as the Dark Feather. Yes. You guys, yeah. Mr. Sima Yi.
My dynasty will be built on your death.
My god. He was the first one. Now, he's at number 3 because I actually got his weapon eventually. Like, it took me maybe half a day. It didn't take me multiple days like the first 2 did. But half a day, my god. Similar to Zhu Rong, his kit is not that great. First of all, I had to max his stats out as best as I can before re-attempting Wuzhong Plains. Wuzhong Plains on Dynasty Warriors 3 is unforgiving. I have 5 files for Sima Yi, and they rack up to 30 gigabytes of video footage. 30 gigabytes. Literally took me easily 6-7 hours in order to get Sima Yi's weapon. The fan moveset in this game is horrendous. Similar to Zhu Rong, none of his C's are good because they all leave you vulnerable because he has this weird delay after them. His normal string is good enough to control a crowd. And his Muso is average. It leaves you vulnerable as well. At least it's stationary. And it actually does quite a bit of nice counter damage. So I can use it to counter on with the red Muso and be in a decent position. None of the C's were good. I just nothing that he had for his kit was good to survive because you just get shredded as him. There was just nothing you could do. Wuzhong is a monster in itself, but my god, Sima Yi was the first test of how difficult this quest was going to be. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move on to number 2. Now, coming in at number 2, this character. You know, last character took half a day. This one took a full day, maybe a day and a half. You know what? You just lose track of time with these characters. As soon as I got into a level and I felt the damage that he was doing versus receiving, I immediately stopped and I had to go and farm him. There's nothing I could do. This character wields the 4th weapon known as the Stone Crusher, which is actually tied with Lu Bu for base attack on the strongest weapon in the game. But it doesn't change the fact that Shu Chu.
I eat guys like you for breakfast.
My god, he is so bad in this game. Playing as this guy is not a fun time. It's just, he has no good moves. Zero. Absolutely zero. And like I already said, I had to, as soon as I hit with him and I realized he was taking, I had to max him out. He was just, he wasn't built to be good in this game. I don't know why they built him the way he did. His Muso is absolutely terrible. It is the worst Muso in the game. You hit somebody, they fly, that's the only damage you get. That's it. Yeah, you're scattering a bunch of people, you're falling over, and by the time you get up, oh, you're surrounded and getting clipped by everybody around you. The only thing that's decent about his, well, the only 2 things that are decent about his kit is his jump attack. So it's good for combos because for some reason it registers like 12 or 13 in a combo, which is interesting. So that's good for farming. And then his C6 is decent. It's a decent charge attack, but it takes very, very long to get there. And when that dude swings, every swing, he's vulnerable. They just clip you so easily because the peons, especially the little guard captains with the spears, those dudes, they attack so fast. And Shu Chu and the number 1 character were the only 2 people I had to skip over and come back to. Like, Shu Chu was the last weapon that I got for the 4th weapon. The only reason I got the number 1 weapon before I got Shu Chu's is because the number 1, it was so difficult, I had to just get it over with, no matter what it took. And then as I got to Shu Chu, I guess the games just gave me some luck and it made it a lot easier. After farming him up, I went to play the level, and I was able to really combo Ma Dai, Peng De, and Ma Chao into an easy victory. It felt easy. It felt easy when I finally got the last weapon with Shu. It was rough. Shu just Dynasty worst. God, Jesus. Let's go to number 1. And if you didn't guess it already, I'm assuming you might, at least by this point, maybe not at the beginning of the video, but by this point, I'm assuming you know what I'm about to say for number 1. Number 1 is going to be Wuzhong playing Zhuge Liang.
Battles are not won by strength alone.
I literally have it in all capital letter before I actually, because I considered not getting his weapon. I almost considered not getting his weapon. It literally took me like 2-3 days to get his weapon. I literally wrote down, could not finish, it's just too tough. This guy on Wuzhong Plains is absolutely nightmarish. Now, when I first started playing with Zhuge Liang, I was optimistic. Why? Because he was way better. His moveset is way better than Sima Yi's. His C4 is actually really good. The Muso is absolutely garbage. It doesn't save you. It's super unreliable. You can't even counter with it because it's similar to Shu. You hit him once and it's hard to get them to like stay in that combo, because if you miss them, you're floating around, you're missing, it's just, Muso is absolutely garbage. Can't combo with the C5, so there's no like, the only good thing that's really good about him is maybe his square string combo, just the full string. That's it. I mean, there's not much really at all. He's not good under pressure. His AoE from his normal string is not enough to keep staving enemies off of you. So when they're aggressive and they're on you, they are on you. I had to play Zhuge Liang so safe. Like, I was clipping like little privates on the outside of the skirmishes because I couldn't just rush in there and sweep everybody out. I had to really strategically play with Zhuge Liang because I struggled with him. The amount of time it took for me to get this guy's weapon was ridiculous. I had to max him out. This map is so difficult. Those enemies converge on you so fast. They do not let up. They kill your people and then they move on to you. It is rough. Wuzhong Plains absolutely haunted me during this little challenge, and Zhuge Liang is 100% the hardest weapon to get in Dynasty Warriors 3. Alright guys, that's all I have for the video today. I'm gonna need to go to therapy after this video because it's just been quite the impact on my psyche. I mean, I literally almost quit. I almost didn't get Chu and Zhuge Liang's weapon. That's how difficult they were. Dynasty Warriors 4 will be up next. How many people were here for the Guan Yu stream? Oh God, I barely got him on Fawn Castle. I also heard that Yue Ying's is a nightmare as well. Will they top Zhuge Liang's? We're gonna find out. Anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys gotten all the 4th weapons from Dynasty Warriors 3, which ones were the toughest for you? Because going into it, I didn't think it was gonna be Zhuge Liang. I mean, I had a feeling, you know, some of the higher levels, Wuzhong, Hefei Castle, yeah, those are gonna be the harder ones, but I underestimated it. My God, it was so tough. Anyway, guys, all I have for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, definitely appreciate a like, comment, or subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone.